They refuse to shower again. You've explained, you've begged, you've pleaded, nothing works. Does this sound familiar? And it seems like the more you try, the more frustrated both of you feel. But what if the problem isn't actually them? What if it's how we're seeing the problem? How many times have you asked something like, how do I get my loved one to take a shower? How do I get them to stop driving? How do I get them to accept more help? Those questions will make it more difficult that you will ever find an answer that helps. There's something else you're going to need to increase the chance that you will have success in solving some of these difficult behaviors. Now, over the coming weeks, I'm going to be focusing on challenging dementia-related behaviors here on the channel and going over what you can specifically say and do to help make these situations easier. So if you haven't yet subscribed to this channel, hit the red subscribe button. It's 100% free. That way you don't miss out on some of these behavior breakthroughs that I'm going to be talking about in the coming weeks. Also, I'm going to encourage you to stick to the end of this video where I'm going to talk about how you can spend 5 days with me live going over behavior breakthroughs, in particular, the exact path and steps to follow. Okay, so let's get back to this video. Now, picture this. Picture you are standing in front of a door and you need to get through this door, but it's locked. Now, you could take a key that you have and you can try to unlock that door. But it turns out the key you tried didn't work. Does that mean that that door can't be unlocked? No. It just means you're using the wrong key. And you can think of all of the different approaches we could take with somebody as keys. There are so many keys that are available to us. We just need to figure out what's the right key for this particular door. What's the right approach for this particular situation? A person with dementia showing some sort of difficult behavior is literally a door. And what we're trying to do is find the key that can unlock that door, that can help reduce or prevent or calm down that person with dementia. But just as there are multiple doors on the street that you're living on right now, the same key is not going to work for all of those doors. Even if those doors we think about as behaviors, even if it was all somebody having trouble showering, not wanting to shower, saying no to shower, even if it was the same behavior for all of those different doors, the same key is not going to open them all. They're still going to require different keys. So you could blame the door, but really the issue is that we're using the wrong key. Blaming the door is never going to open the door, but finding the right key could. So what I'm getting at here, let's use the example of somebody with dementia not wanting to shower, is that type of behavior, not wanting to shower, can be caused by so many different locks. Maybe the water feels painful to that person on their skin. That's the pain lock. Maybe that they don't understand what's happening in the bathroom and what they're supposed to do. That's the confusion lock. Maybe they're scared of slipping and falling. That might be a fear lock. Maybe they don't trust the person trying to help them. That might be the relationship lock. We can go on and on. There's thousands of different locks. You're not going to use the same key for each one. So even though we're all dealing with the same behavior of maybe not wanting to shower, even though we're all dealing with the same thing of trying to open a door, you are going to need a specific approach for that specific person. You are going to need a specific key for that specific door. Basically, we're going to be taking different approaches based on what we think is contributing to their behavior. Yet when most people look at a behavior that they're trying to change, they basically just focus on the door. They think this door needs to change and they keep using the same key. Maybe if I jiggle harder, maybe if I try it again. And they end up just getting super frustrated. And if anything, maybe ruining the key or the door. It's so easy to get in the trap of thinking that the person just needs to change. If we could just get them to understand they need to change, get them to see things the way we see things, that would be enough to get them to change. But it never is. Here's what I need you to know. There is a key that unlocks the door. There is a key that is the answer to what you are trying to do. There is a key to help you not feel so frustrated. There's even a way to narrow down a huge ring of keys to maybe just a few so that your chances of you solving it can be much quicker. But it won't happen if we approach all behaviors the same. It won't happen if we try to approach all people with dementia the same. And it certainly won't happen if we keep trying to do the same approach we've already been trying that hasn't worked before. We're going to have to make a change, us, the Careblazer. So I hope this gets you thinking a little bit differently about how we want to approach behaviors, that we do want to take a personalized approach. And I'm going to share one super important thing to help get you closer right now, but I do first want to encourage you to join us live for 5 days where I'm going to walk you through the whole steps. I'm going to help you take a big ring of keys and narrow it down to just a few, and you can learn more about that and save your spot by going to www.careblazers.com/breakthrough. Okay, so here's what this all boils down to. This is the one thing that will get you so much closer to an approach that works. It's the shift that can change so much. Here it goes. Stop assuming, start assessing. The moment we label our loved ones as stubborn, lazy, resistant, you've locked that door tighter. You've basically taken the key that's going to unlock it and you've thrown it further down the road. But when you stop assuming what we think we know about them, and we start assessing and we start getting curious and we ask ourselves questions like, what might they be communicating? What could be contributing to this behavior? We start to move from that judgment to curiosity. We're going to get so much closer. We are literally approaching the master key. We want to stop assuming we know what the person with dementia is actually doing, and we want to start assessing what that person with dementia is doing. If right now you are saying things in your mind like they are refusing, resisting, being stubborn or hard, or they've always been super difficult, you're literally delaying yourself from finding the right key. Instead, get curious. Take note. What are you observing? What exactly are they saying? What exactly is it that they are doing? And what exactly is it that you have tried? What do you think is adding to their behavior? Could it be embarrassment, modesty, anger toward you, maybe feeling too cold, maybe feeling really tired because there's so much activity during the day, maybe not having enough energy? There's so many factors that can go into any one behavior. It's never going to be the same for everyone. So here's another bonus tip. We want to be thinking through behaviors logically, not emotionally. This is super important. You are going to increase the chances of finding an approach that works when you approach from a place of logic and not a place of emotion. Here's some examples. Logically based. If you were to approach a behavior of, let's take the person not wanting to shower, from a logical place, you can have the thought, okay, well, maybe they are embarrassed to get into the shower. Maybe they don't want me to see them naked. That's a possibility. A more emotion-based response would be something like, they're so stubborn and they never want my help. Here's another example. A logical-based idea or reasoning would be, they think they've already showered today. An emotional-based thought might be, they're just lazy and don't want to do anything. It's pretty easy to see just from these few examples which style of thinking is going to get you closer to a result. Now, when it comes to trying to figure out more about their behavior, understand what's really contributing to it. I get it. It can be totally overwhelming and confusing. And sometimes it might even feel impossible to find the answer, to find the thing that's going to help. I get it. That's why I decided to do this 5-day live experience called Behavior Breakthroughs, where I'll walk you through the steps, and you can join me by going to careblazers.com/breakthrough. Save your spot to this 5-day live experience where I will walk you through the simple steps to finding the right key. All right, Careblazer, I'll be back next week. We are going to stick on this theme of behaviors. And if there are particular behaviors or challenges you're facing, go ahead and leave them in the comments below. I'll try to update the YouTube videos as I create them to help address some of your situations. All right, I'm sending you so much love. Thank you for what you're doing for your loved one. I know that it is a challenging situation. All right, bye.
Also, Nico gets a belly rub for every person who subscribes from this video. So if you haven't already, click the red subscribe button. It's totally free, and Nico says thank you very much.